in terms of technology development and so on and so forth. There's something missing, and we have not been able to deliver the goods. And increasingly, as our incomes go up, and as our consumer wants more and more of pulses, I try to cut out pulses from my kitchen altogether, and I did it successfully for 1 month. But after that, I had to come back. I could not eat without pulses. So there's no way. There's no way. We want more and more pulses. It's not possible, as was said by the previous learned speaker, that you have to do it. So one is this fact of demand, the fact of imports going up, and then the exports, where again we are a country of contradictions, and I learned that while we are the biggest importers of pulses in the world, we are also the biggest processors of pulses. Our dal mills in the central India, they have got such huge capacities, they have got so much surplus capacities that we can mill for the whole world. So in that sense, our processing capacity is a tremendous capacity. We can handle both the domestic pulses as well as imported pulses and still have surpluses. So that is something very, very interesting. But unfortunately, our exports have been banned, and although there is value added in processed pulses, our consumers abroad, our NRIs abroad, as well as those now who are increasingly using Indian foods, they want not raw pulses. Those raw pulses they can get from Myanmar, but processed pulses they can get only from India. Of course, factories are being set up there also, but nonetheless, the flavors and the taste you can get only from India. But the exports you are banned. So, in other words, one stark truth is that your import dependency has gone up. The welfare is now going to the farmer elsewhere. Number one. Number two is that your processed foods capability, that is not being used, your exports are banned. Okay, that's number two. Number three that is happening is that I do a lot of work on WTO. And WTO is not like India, where you go to parliament, give a petition, I'm a poor person, so on and so forth, and the government will do something. WTO is all about give and take. If you want something, fine, we'll give you, but you have to give something. Okay? So, like for example, the great compromise in WTO in 1995, WTO was born, at that time, the US wanted India to sign on IPRs. We were not ready to do it. In fact, none of the developing countries was ready to sign on IPRs. Who is going to accept product patents? But then they gave us the lollipop that we will withdraw the textile quotas altogether. You can export as much garments as you want to us. In return, you have signed IPR. India made the calculations, everybody else made a calculation. They found that it is better to sign the IPRs and get rid of textile quotas. We made our calculation, we said, okay, we'll sign. And that's how WTO was born. So now you have got this huge import that you are doing. The biggest importer of edible oils, you are the biggest importer of pulses in the world. And now you have to leverage that in WTO forums. The agreement on agriculture that is being negotiated now, and India is one of the biggest stumbling blocks, where we are saying that, we are a poor country and we cannot afford to open our imports, Instead of that, we have turned around and said, look, we are the country who is holding up the Myanmar economy. We are the country who is holding up the Malaysia economy. We are the country who is holding up the Indonesia economy. We are doing a lot of good to Australia. We are going a lot of good to Canada. We are doing a lot of good to the Cairns countries. What do you give to us? So we have to be very bullish in WTO on the strength of the good that we are doing to world trade. Unfortunately, we have not used this negotiating agenda. I talk very often to the agriculture ministry people. One additional secretary agrees, I make him agree, but then he retires and somebody else comes. So, but you as stakeholders, are the people who should talk about these things and get these things done in the various forums that you people keep going to. Then this whole question of classification, which is very dear to me. The APIDA commissioned me to do the entire harmonized system classification for agro goods. And there, the way we do classification is that somebody sits in the drawing room, he could be an eminent scientist also, He sits there and says, okay, these are the technical classifications, these are the different types of pulses that I know, and these are the things, and he will create some category. But the way the way World Customs Organization does it, and the way it should be done is that you take statistical significant items in trade, and you make codes out of that. Now, as 10,000 crore rupees of import that you are making in pulses, and in our coding system, pulses, there are no 8-digit codes at all. I was told that in my classification, I had suggested 23 or 24 codes, to give the variety of pulses that are being traded in India in terms of the importance in trade. I showed that to Dr. Kilkar and he says, क्या बात करते हो आप? There are 72 pulses, 72 तरह की दालें होती हैं. So there's so much variety. Now you have to codify it, introduce that in your excise law, introduce that in your import policy, introduce that in your export policy, introduce that in VKGUI, introduce that in your VAT, introduce that in your essential commodities, introduce that in your, at least you know what is happening. Now latest, a case came to me and they said that matar dal is not pulses. So the Calcutta, commissioner gave an order that it is not pulse. And so he said that this is classified in a residual category and 12.5% VAT will be charged on it. And he raised the demand with retrospective effect, taking it back to 6 years. So the poor parties are ended up with a demand of 70-80 crores and orders of arrest and so on and so forth. All because you have not bothered to classify what do you mean by pulse. It's a matter of shame that such an important thing like dal, you don't have proper coding system. So that is something that I would put before this August audience. Then again, the last part, because I am supposed to be the moderating and I should not be taking up all the time. We should leave some time for questions also. But the last part that I'd like to present before you, for your kind consideration, is that, we must have an incentive system. Now there was Section 80 HHC, if you remember, that was in that was done to promote exports. And in 84, 85, I remember a delegation went up to Pranab Mukherjee. At that time, he had just become finance minister and he had come from commerce. He said, "आप इस पर income tax हटा दीजिए." कहा ठीक है. He called deputy chairman. On the spot, the law was drafted and it was notified, passed by parliament, and exporters got a tax holiday forever. And that produced a tremendous jump to exports. Of course, Yashwant Sinha tried to bring it back and he has been able to take it out of the legal system. Same thing happened with Section 80IA. Under that, they said infrastructure, and 10-year tax holiday was declared and huge investments are coming to 80IA. Now, our private sector, Dr. Satya Prakash has also joined the private sector now. So our private sector, if you tell them that you do research in pulses, you develop pulses, okay, and you will not have to pay any income tax on the profit that you generate out of the seeds that you bring out and you patent. Huge investments will come in and everything will be done. The private sector will take it to the farmer also. It will advertise, it will promote TV ads, Doordarshan ads, like, Maggi noodles, these seeds will be sold because there is no tax on it. Now, these are the kind of signal that you can give through the income tax, through the VAT, through the export incentive scheme, through the WTO, and what you need is a total policy package, to make sure that the gains of demand, from the consumers are confined to the national boundaries and increasingly they go to the private sector, the farmer and everybody. And for that, I would like to make my contribution. I have made my contribution, but if anything else is required from my side, please do let me know. Thank you very much.